The following is a presentation of the Black Hollywood Live Network, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. Hollywood Redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is Black Hollywood Live, Phenomenal Women, featuring in-depth interviews with today's most inspiring women. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood Redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host of Black Hollywood Live, Phenomenal Women.
I love the music.
You love it?
Yes.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday to you. Welcome to another episode of Phenomenal Women on Black Hollywood Live. I'm your host, Ashida Onrae, and with me today, I have an amazing guest. I have motivational speaker, author, entrepreneur, Monica Carter.
Yes.
Welcome to the show. Thank you so
you.
much for being here. And we're going to talk about this book that you have coming out. I'm loving the title, Celibate Fabulous and Fearless.
Yes. Well, already out. So
yes,
I'm excited.
I'm excited. So what inspired you to write this book?
Well, to be honest, Ashida, this was not supposed to be the title. I was supposed to be married last August 2013, and my book was supposed to be called Mr. Right. So after that didn't happen, I was devastated, and I said, I don't even want to write a book. I don't want to finish a book because I don't have a Mr. Right. And so it wasn't until I attend Faithful Central in Inglewood. Bishop Omer
is
a
my
senior.
church too.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't even
Shout
know
out
that.
Bishop Omer.
Great minds
Yes.
attend great places.
Right.
So it was in January. We have a pastor on staff. Her name is Pastor Casey, and she said someone needs to answer the call. And so I was like, I hope she's not telling me I need to answer the call because, you know, I'm from the show me state. I talk about that in my book, and God always has to show me that he is real because other than that, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
And so just the day before, I was like, I don't want to write this book, making all types of excuses. I'm not an author. I'm not a pastor. Like, what am I supposed to be writing about? I didn't get married, you know, focusing on that. And so she said verbatim what I had been complaining about the day before, that someone is saying that you're not a pastor, you're not an author, God's saying you need to write this book. So instantly I said, okay, one person I do not rebel against, is the Lord.
Exactly.
So I went home, picked up my journals and said, okay, Lord, the book is going to be called Mr. Right. What is it that it's going to be called?
Right.
So the next 30 days, Ashida, he began to give me the title of the book, which was Celibate, Fabulous, and Fearless. So celibate and fabulous is for women. So I'm saying, God is saying you can be celibate and fabulous as women because most people think when you are living for God and you are, you know, it's not that I can't get it today if I wanted it, you know.
Right.
They think of a nun or they think of, oh, this person who is just boring. No, you can have values and live for God. And the fearless is for celibate and fearless. So that's for men, because oftentimes when women meet a man who is living for God, you think, oh, maybe he wants another man or maybe something's wrong with him. No, I mean, that's attractive for a man. I mean, one of the fruits of the Spirit is self-control. Mm-hmm. And so that's attractive to me. If you can have self-control before we can get married, you can certainly have it afterwards. And so God gave me the title. He gave me the vision for the cover. So the cover is, these are the pearly gates. Mm-hmm. And so there's a mansion in heaven, as you know, and the woman's shoe and the male shoe. So the goal is
little red bottoms.
Yes.
Right.
Make it creative for the eye.
Right,
people pick it up before seeing celibate, and they're like, oh, wait a minute now. So the goal is for men and women to walk into the pearly gates. So that is the vision for the book.
I love this.
Yes.
Congratulations on this. I love it.
Thank you.
Now let's backtrack a little bit.
Okay.
So celibacy, when you were engaged to be married, was that the road that you guys took?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how do you endure that? How do you, and I know it's easier said than done.
Yes.
But how does one endure that? And how does one trust and know, so you know what? I'm going to trust the fact that I know you're going to be able to satisfy me when we get married.
Yes.
Even though I'm not going to test drive, but how do you get through that?
Well, one, I trust God, Ashida. He knows what I like. He knows what I need. And of course, you know, when you're dating someone, you're going to have a kiss. Most people in the Christian community would say, oh, you're not supposed to kiss at all. It's not like we're like tonguing it down, like, or anything like that. But I think in a relationship when sex is not involved, you can communicate more. And you can talk about sex, what it is you like, what you don't like. I mean, in premarital counseling, you talk about all those things.
Absolutely.
And really, for me, at this point in my life, and even when I started trying to be celibate, because I've stumbled, as I shared in my book, at 27 years old is when I started to try to live that lifestyle. For me, at this time in my life, sex is easy to accomplish. But even in a marriage, because I've been married before, after that, I learned when you're in a marriage, you may not even have that much sex, because when you're not talking to one another, or when you're upset at one another, you're not intimate with one another.
Right.
So dating, the dating period is for you to get facts, collect data, and get to know one another. Like I said, sex is so easy to accomplish, and you just really have to have self-control. You got to know, as a woman, I want more than that. After sex, what is it? As women, we get emotionally tied. Men do not. That's why men can go and
do their thing.
Yeah, with 1,000 women. And we're like, what is it? Do you love me? It's not even about that with them. They're not attached in that way. But women, we get emotionally attached.
Yes.
And so for me, I don't want to emotionally attach myself to someone who is not my husband, and hence the reason why we have so many women that are bitter, because when you're giving, this is our temple, this is what God gave us. In Proverbs 31, he says that our merchandise is good and is priceless. So why are you going to give something that's so great and priceless to someone who does not think that you're it for him?
Right.
And so I think it does us a disservice when we give that away, and before we even know what the man is wanting, or if he even sees us as his wife. And so it just kind of works. Had I been intimate with my ex-fiance, I think I would have been more devastated, because I would have felt like, wow, I gave this away.
Yeah.
And on the day that we were supposed to get married is the day he said that he's not moving forward.
Did he say why?
Well, he initially said that I didn't like his child, which was not true. And everyone was like, that's not a reason.
Oh, he's just using an excuse.
Exactly. Right. But it was hurtful and it was painful, but I got through it because I didn't have that emotional tie with him. Mm-hmm. And even when Bishop came to the hotel that day when I was supposed to get married, he said rejection is God's protection. And so even though from the world's point of view, that looked devastating, it was terrible, but God, I know he loves me. And I know he wants the best for me, and I can't see down the line what he can see.
Absolutely.
And so I feel so, it was all for this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There it is. Absolutely. I got so many questions in my head for you right now. Okay, I'm going to start with 3 so I don't overwhelm you or myself.
Okay.
Okay, so let me backtrack. 1, yes. Okay, so you're celibate.
Yes.
How do you convey that message? What advice do you have for women, our viewers, to convey that message to the guy when you meet them, to where they don't run away or become afraid? Or how do you do it to where you help them understand the reason why you're doing it?
Right. Well, it always comes up in a dating situation.
Yeah.
Sex, if that's what's on the man's mind, I've had it come up in the first date or the second date. By the third date, I feel like you should let that person know where you stand.
Okay.
But for me, it always comes up. I haven't been dating a lot because I'm really focused on God's plan for me and just him using me as his vessel. But you should share it. Yeah. And you should, I'm not afraid of God. I'm not afraid of anyone who feels like because the way I'm living my life, that's a terrible thing. God couldn't have chosen a better person to live this way and to get his message out there, because I really don't care about what they may say. But I've been mocked, as I talked about in my book. Men are like, are you for real? Like, you're not having sex?
Because they're so physical. They're and for them to be able to control themselves and for you to be able to control, which leads me into my next question. So say you've met your boyfriend, girlfriend.
Right.
For the male audience out there who are celibate as well.
Okay.
And you're getting to know one another, and that's usually when you get excited. That's usually when you become more attracted to the other person, is when you get to know them more, you meet their family and their friends and everything. And you go out to the movies and he holds your hand and he kisses you, and you got that build up.
Yes.
So how do you that one kiss can destroy the whole thing,
Yes.
So how do you maintain strength? Because, we're human.
Right. It's a process.
Okay.
I just didn't wake up one day and say I'm going to be celibate. The more, you have to meditate in the word day and night. And this is not, it may sound like a cliche, or yeah, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. It's a process, especially if you've already been intimate and had sex in your life opposed to being a virgin.
Right.
You can't miss what you never have. And so I joke with some of my friends, because one of my friends said, well, you must not have had anything that was really good. And I thought about it. I said, oh, I haven't.
Oh, really? I thought you was going to say you have. And you was just like, no, I'm okay.
I don't have anyone that I can say, like, ooh, that was like, I can't wait. Ooh, if I see him again. And so I can't miss anything I never had. Now, I would rather have that with my husband.
Right.
When I get married, when God brings my Boaz to me, then I would love to say, ooh, to myself, like, ooh, this is like the bomb. But I have not had anything that I have really missed. So, but if you have that, that's going to be the struggle. But God he can give you that self-control.
Yes.
And again, it just goes back to the self-control. It goes back to your focus, goes back to you focusing on, and goes back to you. How do you feel about yourself? I like to, when I speak to women and men, I like to work from within, because most of the times when you're just promiscuous, or you meet someone and you feel like, if I give him this great sex that, oh, he's going to stay with me. Well, I mean, he can get it from you, the next person. Everyone thinks they're great. Right. But what is it in you that making you feel that you have to give this man sex? Why do you feel like if he has sex with you, that's love? And it's not. So it's really working within, what is it that you're missing? What is the void? So I've worked on that for myself. And, you just have to love yourself and know that you want more than that. Right. And at the end of the day, after the sex, then what? That's why women, after they give the sex, they're like, okay, now what? Are we going to get married? Do you want to marry me?
Right. They're rushing to the next, instead of just enjoying the process, enjoying the ride.
Enjoying the ride.
Right.
And if it doesn't work out, you can feel good about yourself and say, you know what? Okay. Thank you. Well, I'll just wait. When I met my ex-fiance, the second week we dated, he said, "You're my wife." He was excited that, wow, you have values, and I love that you live your life this way. And his parents were pastors, and he wasn't some button-up Christian person. I mean, he knew the word, but he still had some swag, and it was great. But he was excited about that. He hadn't dated any woman that lived that way. So you just have to, if you meet someone and they're not with it, then you just have to accept it and move on. It's not the end of the world. Right, and it just goes back to loving yourself, really.
So talk about it at least by the third date to share, and then just have, prayer daily and just stay strong every single day. And here comes my next question for you. What are your thoughts? And I know I just want to hear what your thoughts are, because a lot of women, because I've been to many panels where they say, let the guy wait, and, you guys can have a conversation, learn more about each other, talk. But then the men say, that's fine and dandy, but we'll just get it somewhere else.
Well, let them get it somewhere else.
Right. Let it, yeah. But we don't know about it. So we're thinking that we're celibate. And the guy's like, okay, well, I'll just satisfy my thirst somewhere else while we're over here having a conversation. So one of the gentlemen said on the panel, when you show who you really are, that other woman will eventually fade away. Yes. Because he will eventually come to you and, like you said, see your morals and your values and respect you more, and will want to spend more time with you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Men do not bond through sex. It may be great, and Shaniqua can do it really great. Right. Shaniqua. Sorry, Shaniqua. Right. But that's not what he really wants. And I can't tell you, Ashida, so many men who have said, oh, I can't deal with that. They still call me today. They still want to go out because they realize, wow, Monica is who I really want, but I'm not ready for that. And that's fine. But at the end of the day, you have to decide, or do you want to live for God? It all goes back to God and His Word. It's not something that I made up, that this is something that I've created, I'm just doing. Right. If you are a Christian and you live for God, this is what He says. You shouldn't fornicate. And I'm not judging anybody, because I've been there. You read my book, it's not a button-up story. Okay. It's a page turner. You're like, woo, wow. I mean, I'm very transparent in my book, because I want people to know that I'm not a buttoned up person. Yeah. I am real, but I do love the Lord, and I live my life right. And so you just have to, and back to the 3 points that you just made, I just want to go back to that real quick. You want to have people around you who are like-minded. Yes. You have to hang around people who believe what you believe and hold you accountable. You know, you can't call me like, oh, Monica, I'm gonna go get this sex tonight, and I'd be like, well, what about, you know, I'm not judging you, I'm gonna pray for you, but what about what we talked about? What about what God says in His Word? You know, you need sisters around you, and sisters are not a color in my mind. Sisters are, whether you're green, white, or red, sisters in Christ.
Yes.
You need people around you who are gonna support you, are gonna lift you up, even when you fall, not to judge you, but to say, you know what, it's okay. God said He forgives you. You know, what is it that you need? What is you're missing? Let me help you live and have that self-control. So you need strong people around you, and that's what I have. You know?
That's very important.
Yeah.
And I know with celibacy, and you know, you're teaching one avenue for women to go, and then you hear someone who is very popular, like Steve Harvey, who is saying, okay, wait 90 days.
Exactly. I love Steve.
I love Steve too. And he says, what are your thoughts about that, with him saying, okay, ladies, just wait 90 days because you can figure out the kind of guy that you're dating within 90 days.
Yes,
you know, you can figure it out within 2 weeks, actually, if you're really paying attention.
Exactly.
But he's saying wait 90 days and then give up the cookie. You're saying wait till you're married and then
Well, God is saying wait.
Right. God is saying excuse me. God is saying, but Steve is saying give it 90 days.
Exactly. And I think, you know, like I said, I love Steve Harvey, and I think, you know, what Steve is saying, he's meeting people where they're at.
Okay.
You know, he is a public figure, and he's meeting people because even he says himself, you know, I read a lot about Steve articles. I listen to his radio shows, and he says himself, like, shoot, I couldn't even wait 2 weeks. You know, he's very transparent, and so most people are getting it the same night or the first week they meet someone. So at least, ladies, give it 90 days. You know, that would be far-fetched if he said, hey, you know, live like God says to live. And he's a Christian man. He loves the word, and he is not short of saying women need to have more values, but he is true when he says, at least, ladies, give it 90 days. If you can't wait till you get married, because he's hoping and he's believing, you're going to see what you need to see out of that man in 90 days, especially if you're a woman of God. You have a discerning spirit. And I've heard my discerning, the Holy Spirit, so many times say, don't do that or don't go there. But I did it anyway.
Yes, me too. I'm guilty of that too. Yes. And I'd be like, damn.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what I think Steve Harvey is doing. I think it's great. He's saying just wait, you know, at least give it 90 days. You know, and, you know, for me, I live for God. You know, I'm not a public figure. I am nobody. I am.
Wait, you're going to retract because you are somebody.
I mean, I'm not a celebrity in the world's eyes, but I am.
Yes.
I am God's vessel that He's using me, and so I have to be truth. And many people don't like that because, oh yeah, right. You know, who's going to really do that? But people are doing it. I know women who are still virgins that are 40, and you know, it's just what it is.
Yeah, it's rough out there, y'all.
It's rough. I said, Lord, you must got something really good for me.
Yes.
Because I'm taking a lot of bullets for you, but I don't mind. I don't mind. I'm just going to keep on.
And look at what you're accomplishing. Look at the empire that you're building while you're keeping on.
Exactly.
You know, so you're also a motivational speaker and an entrepreneur. So let's dive into that a little bit.
Yes.
You're into event planning.
Yes.
Let's talk about that so we can know what else you do.
Yeah, I do real estate as well. I've done real estate for the past, 17 years. I have, you know, get a lot of referrals from that. So real estate, I love that. Extravagant event planning, I do all my own events. I've done other people's events. I love the jazzy and the flashy and the blinging. You know, I've been blinging up things since I was probably like 19. Motivational speaking, that's my gift. You know, every entrepreneurial aspect of my life that makes money for me, my gift is really inspiring and motivating people, hence the reason why I'm so excited about this book. Again, it's not about me, it's about the Lord. I love to help people who are hurting. You know, there's so many women who are hurting and men, and I don't want to see anyone down.
Right.
And so if I don't get $1 for that, I can do that in my sleep. Like I would do that 24/7. That is my gift, and that's my purpose. And that's what I want to do more than anything. If I can just do that all day. If I left here and I had a speaking engagement like 4 other ones today, I would do that before I do anything else. And so that's my gift and that's my passion.
I'm loving it. So you're in real estate. Is it commercial, residential?
Both commercial and residential.
Okay.
Yes. I primarily, when the market was really great, I was primarily a listing agent. You know, listings was the thing to do. But now, you know, I'm a buyer and listing agent. So Yeah.
And where can they find you for, for people to say, hey, you know what? I have this amazing woman who loves God that can help me buy a house.
Sure. I have a website. It's www.mrc-entllc.com. So that's Monica Renee Carter. It's MRC Enterprises. And my real estate information is on there.
Wonderful.
But I'm out of Keller Williams and Marina Del Rey.
Nice.
So that's the broker I'm under.
Nice. Congratulations with that.
Yes.
Now let's go into this event planning a little bit so we can get an idea of, all the things that you do.
Yes.
So you do private events, weddings?
Yeah, weddings, theme parties. Recently I did a Candyland party where the mother wanted her 9-year-old child to have a Candyland theme. So everything was candy. The shoes were candy. The tiaras everything was made out of candy. So I love to do theme parties. I've done bar mitzvahs, and it's really referrals and word of mouth. So I'm blessed to do that.
And they can find you on the website for event.
Everything is on my website for my event planning, real estate, my book. Also, my career has been HR executive. So I've been an HR executive of entertainment companies. So out of grad school, that's kind of where my career started in HR. So I have that skill set as well. So everything I do, as you can see, Ashida, is really based around helping people.
Yeah, because even with that, you can have consulting, with HR.
Yeah, and I still do that too.
Oh,
sometimes.
okay.
So, yeah. I love it, helping people reach their goals with HR. It's talent development, leadership development, working with executive coaching, many different things.
I'm just loving this. You see why I get inspired and why I'm so happy on Fridays is because I get to speak, I get to network, I get to hear the stories of other phenomenal women doing amazing things.
I love your job.
I love my job too. I'm having every Friday I have so much fun.
Yes.
So with your motivational speaking, are you on tours or anything coming up that we will know about? Can you fill us in?
Yeah, well, I'm starting to do I work with I have a PR. It's LVG PR. She's great, her and Chelsea. So I've partnered with them, and we're going to start doing more motivational speaking. So once I line those up, we're going to post them on my website. And then on Twitter, we do a lot of social media stuff every day. So I'm always posting things about my book or whatever I'm doing. Like today, I'm at BHL. So posting that as well. So yeah, I'm going to start doing more. And I want to do more with the women's shelters, like battered women's shelters.
Okay.
So I'm getting more into that. And so I'll post more information as it comes. Yeah, as it comes.
And where can they find you on Twitter, since you're posting all this fabulous information on Twitter? Where can we find you?
It's at Miss, so it's MSCarterCelFab. So it's Miss Carter Cell Fab.
I love it. I love it. I thank you so much for being with me this morning. You're doing amazing things. I'm loving the book. Where can they purchase the book?
Well, the book is on Amazon.com, and also it's on BarnesandNobles.com.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
Congratulations.
Ashida. Thank you for having me on the show.
You have enlightened me on celibacy, on life and celibacy, fabulousness, love, joy, and all the things that we need to know about, more about.
Well, I wish you all the best. I thank you, Maria, for having me on BHL. This has just been a really blessing. So I wish you all the best, and I know great things are going to happen for you in the network. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And thank you for being with me again on another episode of Phenomenal Women. I'm your host, Ashida Onrae, and I look forward to inspiring you next week.
From producers Maria Menounos, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in. The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.